And we're live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 99% gentlemen. 1.5% females, I think. How are we all today? So this live stream for everyone watching post live, this is catering towards the European viewers. So I've done about a month and a half-ish of catering towards the American audience, and now I'm flipping it so it's about 7 p.m. my time opposed to the typical 10 p.m. We do these every single Monday, and so we'll see how this one goes. I definitely will have to, in between doing these European live streams, go back to the American times because I do have some guests that can only pretty much do that because they're from the States, right? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. What's going on, Scott? Simon, in from the UK. Reverend, good morning, mate. Kobe, I have a few questions about Gala. What's going up there? Glimmer, hey, mate. Good to see you. Yeah, Kobe, we'll answer those in a second. We'll just let a few more people come in and fire away, definitely. Also, guys, just a TLDR, please, if you have any questions at all, leave them below, and specifically at John. Rubicon John is the moderator. He does a fantastic job of curating all the questions for me. We review that after the live stream, and that helps me make content for the week, for the month, whenever it is. I will get to it, and so that obviously helps me answer your questions as well. Bad news about HBAR. No, we actually, the point of this live stream is we're touching on the good news about HBAR. I don't know if there is any bad news out there right now. If there is, well, that might have been a stroke of crazy luck on my end because I think a lot of you guys have been tuning in for that case. But no, definitely good news. Definitely good news. So we had, look, we'll answer some questions here. But we had some good news. So I covered a few days ago now, the Hyundai and Kia Motor Group. They had a thing where they're now tracking supply chain and emissions, and I think also a few other small things as well through HBAR, which is some pretty big news. And then we also had, I think yesterday or today, apparently 3 days ago, hang on a second, am I missing something here? 3 days ago, MasterCard has collaborated with HBAR as well. I mean, we all knew it was going to happen. I just think that a lot of people kind of disregard HBAR for some whatever goddamn reason. And it's bound to happen. Now, we look back on Cardano, and Cardano was like an 800 to a billion / 1.6 billion. It fluctuated, of course. Market cap in like 2020 or 2019 before the bull run started last time. And it went right up to 95 billion market cap. So for all you people out there saying, oh, it can't happen, it can happen. There's more money flowing around this time around as well. It can definitely happen. It wouldn't surprise me if HBAR's market cap went from 1.6 to 100 billion. Wouldn't surprise me at all. It sounds unbelievable, but that's why we're in crypto, is for that exact event. Sorry, guys. Let me just say hello to more of you. Saw HBAR at 10% rise yesterday, just waiting for it to drop back down to reinvest. Smart man. Excellent. Scott, I need more HBAR. Scott, we all need more HBAR. No, but yeah, 100%. You know, it's one of those projects you just can't stop buying. And I told myself I wasn't going to buy any more cryptocurrencies, and here I am buying 20,000 more HBAR. What can I say? G'day, Frederick. How are you, mate? Hopefully you're doing well. Good morning from the UK, Justin. Good to see you, Justin. Good to see you, mate. Nick, oi. What's going on? You made me chuckle the other day, by the way, Nick. Bought some more HBAR yesterday, so good timing. Yeah, it is. No, bro, I'm outside your window half the time. I'm watching you. This is all for you, Glimmer. For you, Dan. Bye. Did the staking reward drop for HBAR? I don't know if they actually enacted that yet. Frederick, that's a good question, mate. We might look into it. I might flick over to the screen in just a second here, and we can all have a look at some of this news. Some of you would have heard the news. The good thing is, what I wanted to kind of do, because the live streams are going to over the next month, these are going to all morph into me getting guests on pretty much every time. Guests either to do with crypto, like founders, and also guests in terms of other influencers to kind of, I don't know, just to kind of give them a platform to talk. Like, I want to hear people's opinions. For those of you who know Crypto John, I really want to have Crypto John on. So if you are on crypto, if you know Crypto John, I want you to go to his comment section, add him, and say, please, no BS Crypto wants to talk. John does come on here from time to time as well, and I want to have a discussion about Casper. I don't want to like try to be like a know-it-all and prove him wrong, because I think the guy's John's a fantastic guy. He's a nice guy, but I want to just have a open discussion. There's going to be so many people on that it's going to like disagree with me. That's fine, but I just want to like. I just thought it would be fun kind of just talking with other people in the space, you know, and just having different views. That's the fun of it. Like, but the difficult part is tribalism when like those sort of healthy conversations turn sour. That's dangerous. That's bad. But I think we can maybe model good behavior. Hey, from Sydney, Manny, what's going on? Matthew's from the UK over here. England, this is great. We're getting a lot of guys on from over in Europe. Montana, England, awesome. Give us an idea on the top figure for the next bull run for HBAR, Camilla, or are you chasing Bitcoin as a whole? Did I say Cadena? I don't know why I just thought that for some reason. HBAR. Has an opinion. Okay, are you still heavy on the sidelines? Yeah, I'm heavy on the sidelines, man. Like I've had a couple of sponsors. I'm not gonna lie, it's completely transparent. I've had a couple of sponsors for the first time in ages. I'm like so happy about it. I'm finally not losing money on the channel. and so I'm not spending any of that money in crypto. I'm just like building, right? Camilla says HBAR. Yeah, so my HBAR, I'm pretty well set on $2. I think $2 is definitely obtainable as like a max, but I think it can blow past that. I think if it hits 100 billion market cap, it'll be like $2.75 if we account for inflation. So that's kind of gives you some idea, but I think most definitely it'll hit 69 cents. I'm not trying to be funny. For those of you who haven't seen my HBAR videos, I'm not being funny when I say 69 cents. That's genuinely what it came to when I did the maths. And I like using it now because it's, I could have rounded to 70 cents, but why do that when it's that nice, perfect number? Hey. HBAR is still heavy on the sidelines. Okay, I've answered these questions already. Hi from Wales. Awesome. Hashpack. Yep, hashpack. All right, guys, we might start getting into it. We've got a fair few people, and thank you all for being here, by the way. I understand you all have busy days. You're probably tired from work if you're from Europe, or if you're from America, you're waking up early for this. So I just want to say thank you, especially to my moderator, John. John's doing a big thing here. He's waking up nice and early to be present, to help everyone out. He does a great job. Vet price prediction. I think, yeah, we'll have to look into that, actually. We'll have to look into that. Yeah, it's a great number of viewers. We've got a lot. Guys, if you're in the chat again, thank you. Please like the stream. Push it out. We're going to start talking about HBAR right about now. Right from Germany. Awesome. All right, guys, let's get into it. I want all your HBAR questions to come out in a moment, please. Actually, John's got a couple of questions here. I'm just going to go over very, very quickly here. So Nick says, hey bro, I love your content. I've been waiting for this live. Awesome. I have a few questions for you. I've been holding a bag of EGLD that I'm down 20% on. Actually, you know what? Let's hold these. We're going to hold all these in a minute because I know a lot of you guys are here for the HBAR content. So we'll hold all these questions. I'd love to answer that, Nick, in just a moment. Okay, let's go. Boom. Boom. Okay. Now, part of the reason why I'm doing this today, now I know about the Hyundai and Kia news, obviously, because I touched on this, right? I made a video on it, so I know about it, which is great. But I don't know much, if anything at all, about the MasterCard thing. So we're going to go through it together, read it, and maybe, again, this is kind of like the prelim to what these live streams will turn into, which is predominantly looking at bringing on different people, getting different opinions, and letting you guys, the viewers, have more of an input, asking questions that you may never have been able to ask sort of face-to-face, if you will, before. So that's coming, but I think let's just kind of go through this so you guys can maybe get a glimpse into my mind and how it works. when it comes to looking at this sort of stuff. Yeah. So where do we start? Which news source do we go to? Hedera x MasterCard. Reddit's, to be honest with you, Reddit's actually a pretty damn good place to get content. Not gonna lie. Hedera HBAR linked with banking and MasterCard for enhanced digital solutions. So this is huge. Obviously, MasterCard are looking to have more of an impact or presence within crypto itself, which is definitely the way, obviously, we see it going. And I think that they were changing a few back-end things to make that happen. But of course, linking these two is going to be huge. Let's continue. So Fresh Supply Co. AU, a pioneering player in the realm of digital innovation, has taken a significant step forward by seamlessly integrating Hedera into its Continuity API. The Hedera Foundation announced on Twitter, this dynamic fusion links the Hedera network with the conventional banking system and amplifies its reach by integrating with the MasterCard network. So I don't know much about these guys, to be honest with you. Okay, so I thought this was more like a direct connection straight up with MasterCard, but it seems obviously it's going through whoever that company is, right? A new pathway to efficiency. Well, who are these guys? Again, this is just completely me showing you guys exactly how I research this sort of stuff, just if you were interested, right? So yeah, they're obviously an Australian company, Fresh Supply Co. So maybe like a food store or something like that. It's a fintech bridge. Okay, I was completely wrong. Fresh Supply Co. Why would you name yourself that? Is a fintech bringing off-chain data on-chain, assessing risk, and triggering payment from DeFi, NBL, and bank sources. All right, so it's a pretty good partnership from what it looks like. So it's just like a middle ground to onboard into MasterCard. Is that correct? Either way, that's some pretty good stuff, right? No, we've seen that already. So HBAR's integration with banking procedures open up the possibility of frictionless international trade, safe payments, and a wider range of financial services. A powerful potential to reimagine how value is shared, tracked, and managed in the digital age exists with the power of blockchain technology is combined with traditional finance. Okay, so cool. It's just a step towards what we all want it to be used for, right? Which is a step towards traditional finance. We at least have an integration between the two. Now, the thing with Web3 companies like HBAR, right? The layer one, the foundation, is as long as that foundation does the heavy load lifting for anything that builds on a public network, that's what creates the incentive for a flourishing ecosystem. So for this is fantastic because now you're going to open the doors up to a whole host of sort of dApps, if you will, wanting to come on because they might be able to access traditional finance markets at least. So it looks like Hedera was also honored for its commitment using blockchain technology. Okay. Yeah, look, I mean, for anyone, it's crazy because some of us are looking at this going, no shit. Obviously this stuff's sort of happening here. But then you have people that for some goddamn reason will I see in the comments all the time, people HBAR's a crap project. Look at Shiba Inu dog bone 360 no scope. I'm just what are you fucking talking about? You know what I'm saying? What? It doesn't make any logical sense to me. And I think, at this, the HBAR Foundation also mentioned something that I quite liked, okay? They actually stated that the partnership with Kia and Hyundai was one of the first sort of out of governing council sponsorships. Now, this is huge, right? Because we're not talking about a run-of-the-mill small company here. We're talking about two of the largest car companies, manufacturers in the world, okay? And so you can only imagine what's happening behind the scenes. This is the iceberg we see, right? The iceberg, the tip of the iceberg at this point is what we're seeing here. We're starting to see the wheel fly. You can imagine when things start to prosper. And so, you start to kind of get an idea, what is a blockchain used for? In this case, what's the hash graph used for? What's HBAR's purpose? And the beautiful thing is the sky's the limit. There's no stopping point here. So it can be used for anything, gaming, metaverse, obviously in this case, supply chain, in the case of linking with MasterCard or traditional finance sort of thing. Obviously payment gateways. There's a payment service. or at least a very viable, fast step between traditional finance and decentralized finance. So in my opinion, sorry about that. I'm getting calls here. It's opening up. It's starting to flourish. Now, I'm really excited to see what comes from the games because I think, was it Activision? No, not Activision. Ubisoft is one of the governing council members here, and there's some intimate relationship there. So, obviously, Hedera, I think, helps sponsor some of those game developer, at least the funding rounds, I think, for devs to kind of get kickstarted in some capacity. I'm getting that obviously wrong, but they're involved in that process, which is fantastic because where are the devs going to want to go? Because who funded them, or at least who helped support them? Boom, HBAR. So yeah, I mean, look, guys, it's madness in my opinion. Hence the title, hence the thumbnail, right? Because I mean, it's the start. And again, let me just show you something real quick here. For all you people saying, oh, HBAR can't like 50x, 100x. It can. And there's a reason why I keep it out of those sort of videos. There's a reason why I don't say, oh, it's going to 100x or 50x. Because I will literally get shit on the whole video. No matter what I say, I'm going to get called a shiller and stuff. It's very toxic, right? Well, fair enough. I guess people are a bit resentment towards, those sort of things. Where are we here? Cardano. What am I looking for? Market cap. So we zoom in. Let's get a little bit closer here. Actually, you know what? This might pull up a better chart. Here we go. So you see what I'm saying, right? So we had the 2019 to start, right? The start of 2019 over here, before the bull run. We're pretty well in this phase right here. This is the big C word. This is when that big virus popped off and everyone got scared, right? This is why it tanked here. But you can see this is kind of like, we're like right here. In the grand scale of things, we're here. Oh shit, I'm on my big screen still. Right, we're here, okay? And so when we were looking at it, crypto, okay, so this had a bit of a tank. Again, history is not going to obviously repeat. So in this case, because there was a bit of a scare back here around that big C word, obviously the market started going up, the big C word got announced, boom, tanked, corrected straight away. Hence the halving happened over here on like March or May or something like that, right? So the halving happened, and because everyone knew it was coming, everyone's like, hell no, I'm getting back in again. So it tanked, everyone got back in. And this is what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for an event like this, where the market cap goes from like, let's just say where it is right now, 1.1 trillion, and was more back then actually, holy crap. No, that's a billion, oh my God. And then it tanked right down, it like literally halved. No, it literally like went down a third. Am I getting that right? You guys know what I mean. It went down like 66%, it went down crazy. And then it went straight up again. And that's what I'm hoping for. But anyway, the reason I'm showing you this is because HBAR, right, could go from where it is right now at about a 1 point... What am I talking about? This is Cardano's chart. You get the same picture, right? So it's about 1.6 billion right now. And so you can imagine when it goes all the way up, look at this, 95 billion. So I'm sorry, but like people back here that were saying, oh no, Cardano's not going to 100x, it's impossible, it's at $1 billion market cap, like they are doing with HBAR right now. I'm telling you, when the bull run kicks off, bang, look at that. I can't believe it. The market cap 90x, of course, the price doesn't have to because of inflation, of course. Fair enough. But that's still nothing to scoff at. You're probably looking at still of, at least a 50x there. So keep that in mind. Yeah, this is something I like to look at. Now, of course, every project's not going to do this. You're going to have outliers. But when we think about outliers, like what's the wow factor in a project? Well, I'm sorry, but HBAR has that wow factor. It just does. Right, it can do this again. It can do what ADA's done here. Now, I am still hoping for this event, right? So yeah, so ADA went from a $1.6 billion market cap. It went down like 66%. Crazy. You can imagine buying it. What does its price look like? From 6 cents, that's crazy. 6 cents down to 2 cents. Oh man, that's crazy. So guys, this could happen. This is what I've been telling people. And you know, what else is crazy? I'm going to give you guys some behind the scenes stuff here. What else is crazy is I'm noticing things are picking up. On the YouTube backend, when we're doing a YouTube video, you have tags. And I use a couple of different software for, you know, helping me with SEO and stuff like that. They're all ranking the tags for crypto and specific altcoins. Most of the altcoins now have all moved up, but a lot of them have moved up a lot. Specifically, general tags like crypto, altcoins, bull run, so on and so forth. In the rankings now, they've gone from like an average of like 60 out of 100 to like 70, 75, 80. So I can tell demand's picking up. I can tell there's more interest in the market. Also, we had, what's her name now? Crypto Casey. She put out a thing on her YouTube channel in her community tab, how she's gaining a whole heap more subscribers. I'm noticing the same thing, right? I can tell. I can smell it. I can smell it. And so these whoa. Right here. Interest in crypto is going parabolic despite the bear market. And she knows. All right. And this kind of, when I saw this 2 days ago, I was like, yeah, I could feel it already. And when she said it, I was like, yeah, no, it's 100%. Like if she's saying it as well, all, you know, the YouTubers can see it in the back end because we use tags and stuff like that, of course. Let me answer some questions now. So guys, what I'm saying is the price for HBAR right now, give or take about 5 cents, right? Give or take about 5 cents. Still a very, very good time to buy. Not financial advice. I mean, and people freak out when I say the minimum will be 69 cents. I mean, come on. I think that's definitely obtainable here. We're going to see a massive surge. I mean, the market cap's just going to go off the roof. The general, you know, the overall global market cap's going to go through the rocker. Absolutely. All right, let's answer some of your questions, people. Let me get back to Nick. I was answering Nick's questions here. Hey, bro, I love your content. I've been waiting for this live. Thank you, thank you. I have a few questions for you. I've been holding a bag of EGLD, which is Multiverse X for those of you who don't know. By the way, for those of you who are joining me right now, I want to quickly interrupt and say thank you for starters. Like the video, like the live stream rather. It really helps me out quite a lot here. We'll talk more about HBAR in just a second if you guys want to talk more about HBAR, or at least hear more about HBAR. And I want to say if you have any questions, leave them below. I have John in the chat. John's my moderator. He will pop over the questions for me because the chat itself is quite crazy to try to keep up with. And so make sure if you have any questions you've had during the week, please, now is the time. So he says, I'm down 20%. Now I'm more bullish on HBAR than EGLD, but I can't sell my bag and take the L. What do you suggest? Number one thing I would suggest is this is not financial advice. That is plain, that's the number one thing. Number two is, okay, so you're 20% down. What would I do? I would just hold, okay? Because you're talking about 20%. What's 20% of $10,000, right? That's $2,000. Now to you that, okay, for you that might be game changing. For you that might be like $2,000, holy shit, okay? Understandable. I think you're in a great project, so that 20%, like if you're in a crap project, I would say maybe take your losses, get out of it, just get into a good project, at least secure those gains. But you're in a good project, so 20% might actually be a lot. Now for you, if that, let's just say again, 10,000 example, you've lost 2,000. If that is you, and you think to yourself, oh, that's fine. Like $2,000 for me, I make that back pretty quickly. I don't care about it. Then that's fine. Maybe you should switch to HBAR. Because the number one thing you have to consider here is that you need to have conviction in your projects. If you don't have conviction in your projects, you're going to hold it. And I guarantee you right now, just trust me on this, you're going to be absolutely fucking hating your life in the bull run. You're going to be constantly thinking of ways to sell. Now, if you do move into HBAR, what I would most definitely tell you to do is do something that I've told people for a long time now. And that's assessing, like, okay, so for example, how much do you want out of a minimum? Okay, how much do you want out of a minimum? Because if you're someone, this has gone all skewed now. If you're someone who's like, okay, I want a minimum 20x out of HBAR, and I'm telling you right now, you do the maths, and you're like, okay, well, Kyron's right. Okay, 69 cents is that magic number. That's, okay, let's just say for argument's sake, it's a 10x. Okay, well, that's not a 20x here. Always talking minimums because you're never going to be disappointed. If you start talking in maximums, okay, well, Kyron says it's going to go like to $3 at 100 bill market cap. Okay, well, that's good. Let's just take that number into consideration and just go with that. Your whole plan is going to be scattered in the bull run. Whole plan is going to be scattered. If something happens, it's going to be alarm bells, because the number one thing I like to tell people is the more you're prepared, the less you're like scared. That rhymes. Wow. Because in a bull run, and for all of us who's been in a bull run before, you know firsthand how horrible it is. Because yes, your money's going up, you're happy, but that's the trick. That's why you don't end up selling, or at least selling at the right times. And that's where the big guys get you. That's why you're still in the position you were in today, and you will still be in the exact same position, hoping for 2030, listening to people like me and going, well, 2030 is the year. No, 2025 is your year. That's going to kickstart you for the rest of your life. That'll give you the funds you need to buy investment properties, to buy stocks, to get out of crypto. Crypto is not the be all and end all here, right? So you got to use it correctly. And so what I'm kind of saying here, Nick, is, in my opinion, it's depending on you. If 20% is too much, that's fine. That's fine. Stay in it. It's a good project. But if $2,000 ain't that much for you and you're going to have more conviction in HBAR meets your criteria in terms of multipliers, boom. I would do it. I would do it personally. But I think Elrond's a fantastic project. I'm actually Multiverse X. I'm having a guy called DB Crypto on a live stream coming up here. He is like in the know. He is extremely knowledgeable about Multiverse X. I'm going to have him on. I'm going to ask him questions because it's a highly misunderstood project. It is a great project, don't get me wrong. But here's the thing I want to say, right? People look at HBAR's supply and go 50 billion out of reach. Out of reach, it's too much. It's too much. You look at the dilution. And then they come over here to EGLD and they'll go, oh my God. And this, by the way, this was me a month ago. Like right up to a month ago, I had this same thought process. Shout out to Sterling Silver, I think his name is. Again, this is why I read comments. He put this into my head and I did some research and I was like, oh my God, he's right. This means nothing, right? We're looking at total supply here, 25 million. Or at least max supply 31 million. And you think to yourself, oh my God, that's excellent. Only $30. Where's it been in the past? Holy shit. It's been a $500. Oh my God. So if we just go back up there, it's a 15x or whatever. And so you start thinking like that because like, oh my God, if just one person bought every single one of these, it'd be fine. It doesn't work like that. These projects have what's called, it's in even regular fiat currency, denominations. So just like there isn't a single, $100 bill. No one just buys $100 bills and stores them unless you're a drug dealer. I shouldn't throw these keywords around, I might get banned. But, no one just has that. So people buy denominations of that. So say you want to go buy a cone from McDonald's, ice cream cone, 20 cents, 80 cents, right? You're not buying $100 and then having to like swap that out. Okay, you don't do that. So with cryptocurrencies, you have denominations. Point in case, in the bull run, when Elrond's at like $600, you're not going to just buy a single Elrond. If you want to just DCA into it, you're going to buy whatever the equivalent of how much money you want to put into it. So for $300, you buy 0.5. You buy half. Okay? So it doesn't work the same way like that, if that makes sense. So you can have all this demand, but unless there's more people coming in and buying, it doesn't matter, if that makes sense. So what we're looking for here is the interest. The interest. We're not worrying about people like that. That supply whole thing don't matter. Don't matter. Where it does matter is when you have institutions, because institutions are like, one person's one person, okay? And institutions are the equivalent of like 10,000 people because they have more money. So they'll come in, it's like the equivalent of 10,000 people buying up this supply. They'll buy up a whole heap of tokens to use for the network, and that's where we can come into the whole supply and demand thing. That makes sense. But yeah, so be very careful for people going like, this is the be all and end all. And when I say be very careful, they might not know any better. I didn't know any better. You probably didn't know any better. It's just normal. Like, this is how we learn. So I'm just here to teach you this sort of thing, right? Glimmer Dan says, I was thinking about grabbing a bag of SaucerSwap 2 HBAR decks. What are your thoughts? Okay, excellent question. I think it's Source, isn't it? Yeah. So SaucerSwap's a fantastic project. They're the leading decks on HBAR, and I think that they're going to be here for a long time. I covered one of their oh my God, please. I read one of their projects, their competitors a while back, and the other project was fantastic, but I think I missed something with SaucerSwap, I know, because I remember looking at it after and I was like, oh shit, I wish I knew that, because something like came out. the website obviously is a DEX, so the website's nothing too crazy. But your question was, should you grab a bag? Yeah, I mean, look, when we're hedging into a project, what's the first thing you should hedge into? You know, you're hedging into a new ecosystem. What's the first thing you hedge into? Anyone? Sorry, I've turned this into like a live teaching lesson here. it's the DEX, right? Because you buy the DEX because the DEX is where all that demand will come through through the ecosystem. You're going to have ecosystem projects that don't do that, but they're going to have their own tokens, aren't they? They're going to have their own tokens. So it all flows through that central point, which is the DEX. So it is a fantastic idea, Dan, for you to want to hedge into something like SaucerSwap, which I believe is the #1 DEX on HBAR. AKM says, just wanted to know how the market is going before the halving. How many % should I keep in stablecoin DCA? Okay, so I always say about 10, 15, 20%. 20% is a lot. At least 10% you should have in stablecoins at any given time before the bull run. And the reason why I say this is because if there is that cataclysmic event, if there is that event I was telling you about with the big C word, let me just pull this back up again for all you people just joining me. Right, come on here. You're going to really do this to me. Hang on a second, guys. Let's go to 22. Okay, it's going to be quite skewed. So there is there was the big C word. You guys know that virus, right? Here, right? So it was announced, boom, prices dropped. So the global market cap went from about, let's just say 256 billion down to like 150 billion. It's like 100 billion was like wiped out. And so I'm preparing for something like this to happen again because the world is crazy. Now, the beautiful thing about this is it's a win-win because if there's no event that happens within crypto or to the world that everything drops, like let's just say the housing bubble pops, which it's going to in the next few years, then what happens is you have this cash ready. So, okay, let's just say you don't deploy it, you're in the bull market. Let's just say one of my strategies is deploying that money in the bull market to buy micro caps and stuff for instant plays. Because again, the worst thing is that when the bull run kicks off, you have no extra money, you have no capital. And so what happens? Well, at least what happened with me was every time I got a little bit of money siphoned through from working a job or doing a side hustle, whatever, as soon as I had that, I felt like, oh my God, I'm panicking. I'm going to lose my job. And I had to like invest the money, okay? I had to put it in the market. And so when I obviously did that, of course, I wasn't buying at good prices or I was buying shit projects because I was panicking. So to have that bit of cash on the side is good in two ways. One, black swan event can happen, boom. Two, you can obviously buy microcaps. And actually three, even if you miss everything, even if you hold like, let's just say $5,000 worth of stable coins, you're thinking to yourself at the end of the bull run, oh, if I just invested this and did this and you start second guessing yourself, I could have made X amount of money extra. I could be a millionaire right now with that. Okay, don't think like that because it's actually a smart thing you did that if none of this plays out because I believe again that we're going to have a big crash. Don't hold me to it, but I definitely do believe we're going to have a crash sometime in the next bear market. Big crash. The whole economic structure of the world's going to be absolutely kaput. And I think it would be very beneficial for the elites to do that regardless. Why? Because they'll go, oh, here's our CBDC, guys. Do this, and it's going to be all fine and dandy. So that's besides the point. A lot of cycles end at that point in time. But I do feel like that's going to happen, and they have a perfect solution to that problem. And so then we can come to crypto, and that $5,000 will get you 20, 30, 40x on top of what you could have got in this bull run. I strongly believe. So for me, it's not something I'm really concerned about holding on to for a long time. AKM says, oh, this is a good one, guys. This is a good one. AKM says, one of the YouTubers said QNT is a trash project and I got really confused. John, no. Okay, so John. Okay, that's to John, the moderator. So, okay, so someone called QNT a bad project. Thank you, AKM, for mentioning this, by the way. Look, okay. It's like who do you trust? Like who's the better of two evils, I guess. How do I even? Let me just have a sip of coffee before I answer this question. I think because I'll need it. If you have someone on YouTube, anyone for that matter, telling you QNT is a bad project, you need to run the other way. Like literally, physically run the other way. That is such. I don't even know how someone comes to that conclusion. I'm not going to ask you, actually, I'm going to ask you, could you, I feel kind of bad for this. I'm not going to publicly shame them. I'm just going to, out of curiosity for myself, I won't even mention it on the live stream. Could you tell me who that, AKM, could you tell me who that person actually was? I'm not going to talk about them at all. I just want to know for my own sake, curiosity, because for someone to call QNT a bad project, something ain't right. Something ain't right. The only way I could agree with them in the sense of it's a bad project is if it's bad based on two things. Moral code, if you're like, I don't want this whole CBDC thing happening, that's understandable. It's happening regardless. You have to be on the wave, otherwise you're missing out. So I don't agree with that, but I can understand it. On the contrary, I think maybe if he says like, oh, they could get rid of the smart contract, that's dangerous, then I can also understand that, and I 100% agree. But to call the project or the business bad, I don't agree with. Again, maybe if you're still here, AKM, could you maybe tell me who that was? John might be able to pick that up. Again, I'm not going to mention who it was. I'm not going to name and shame here. I just want to know for my own curiosity's sake. Thank you, by the way. Do you ever feel like crypto won't work out for you? Paul, this is a very good question, Paul. Will crypto not work out for me? My dad said, Kyron, the amount of time and energy you put into crypto, if you put into stocks, which is like guaranteed to always work out, he's like, you have the stability there. Like it's a stability. Whereas this, it's still shady. But this is how much conviction I have. Like, I don't think people realize, like I actually sink so much damn money into the channel and into like this craft. It's not even funny, right? I could throw you guys around some numbers, but I'm not going to do that. And so I definitely have that conviction, I believe, but I've thought about it in the past. Like, if you're asking like, it won't work out for me in terms of like, if I don't like, the channel doesn't grow and I don't get to where I want to be, I have no doubt in my mind, because just the amount of effort and energy I put into this channel, it's just has to happen. It's just physically impossible. And I just have a good work ethic. But in terms of crypto itself, no, I don't worry. I think these projects will take off fine, and worst comes to worst, I have learnt so much over this, how to present, how to do this and that. I think I'd always want to do something in either stocks, real estate, or, so on and so forth. Or present. You might see them in the damn news with the green screen videos I've been doing, telling you about the lows and the troughs. Can you imagine? I did see a comment pop up here from Renner. Renner, shout out to you. I see you in the comments all the time on the videos. Thank you so much. A lot of you guys I see in the comments. Thank you so much, by the way. I know your names, by the way. I will talk about HBAR more in just a second. Okay. We have spoken about HBAR for a good part of about 25 minutes. So, I mean, I think I also want to use these live streams to talk more to people as well. But if you guys have any HBAR specific questions, that is the initial premise of the video. So if there's anything you want to talk about, again, we've kind of covered at the start of this live stream, the importance of the recent two partnerships. Not really the importance. I think you guys get the idea of why this is a very good partnership, like linking HBAR to MasterCard. And Fresh Supply Company Australia is not what you think it is, okay? It's a fintech company. It has nothing to do with food or groceries. And of course, we know about the Hyundai and Kia partnership with the whole supply chain thing, right? I made a video on this, so if you haven't seen that video, you need to go ahead and watch it. Okay, because I break it down and give the analogy of what kind of VeChain is doing. VeChain is a layer one supply chain focused network. And what I see HBAR migrating into is like VeChain mixed with other type stuff. So it's like heavy into the supply chain space, right? Manny says, hey, what are your thoughts on LCX? So, I don't really have any thoughts on LCX, to be honest with you, mate. To be honest with you, I haven't done many, I haven't really dove into it yet. I mean, I've covered LCX before, I think. I've looked into it briefly. And I know it's got some sort of license. Yeah, it's got a proper license to do the exchange work. Regulated, yeah. So, I think this is like a good exchange. It's a good exchange, but in terms of like that, and I'm going to use this word here because this is how I think. It's got no sex appeal, okay? It's just got no sex appeal. But look, I mean, it's got awesome partners, all the right partners, right? And I think if you're invested in this, it's a great project. All I would just say is, if you're invested in it, just figure out what that wow factor is, what that meme factor is, right? Because if we go, I'm not signed in right now because I'm on my private browser here. Just so it's easier for the video. But where is it here? I quoted Suppo Man. Are you serious? It's not going to come up? Maybe because I haven't signed in. Okay, anyway. I quoted Michael Suppo Man. He's a YouTuber as well. And he mentioned something about memes and how he doesn't invest in projects that are too confusing and stuff like that. So that's a big thing to look at. But yeah, in terms of LCX, I think it's great. I think it's pretty easy to understand what it is. But yeah, Manny, in terms of like, BTC, ADA, QNT, HBAR, Render, ADA, like those projects are fantastic. They're fantastic. They'll do well this bull run. Of course, Bitcoin, you're going to suppress your returns there. Pretty self-explanatory. Like you'd be happy with maybe a 6x, 7x. But the rest should at minimum 10x. Richie Me, the brother from another mother. How much does Kyron think the total market cap will be at the top of the bull market? I think 9 trillion. I think 9 trillion is a pretty good number to assume here, Rich. I think because, let's pull it up. I'm very comfortable saying between 5 to 10 trillion. I'll tell you what, if it doesn't go above 5 trillion, there's strife. Something's happening, right? And we'll know about it as it progresses. We'll know about it. But so we barely hit 3 trillion. When I say barely, we didn't hit 3 trillion. We almost hit 3 trillion in the last bull run. It was about 2.9, I think. And I think we'll have another situation where we fly up. Obviously, what goes up such steeply has to go down even steeper. And then we'll have this sort of another round up to the top. And probably the situation here where everyone's like sort of in disbelief. Hell no, it's going to still happen. Doesn't happen. Wrecks more people, exit liquidity, so on and so forth. And I do think that we'll probably see, I am going to say about again, I was going to say between a 7 to 8 billion, but if I'm going to put a number on, I would probably say between a 7 and 8 trillion dollar market cap. Yeah. What are my thoughts on layer 2s, James? Good question. Layer 2s, they're going to be more important than ever because I don't agree with how, So Ethereum moved away from their whole vision they've always had, which is being this sharded network. And that's what I actually fell in love with Ethereum. I was telling people at the time, Ethereum is going to be the be all and end all network. It's going to stay like, it's going to, obviously flip Bitcoin. That's pretty obvious, but it was going to always grow because it would become the network which it needed to be, but it's not. All it is now is going to be a settlement layer. It's going to slowly, I see those dApps on it slowly merging off and becoming like on the layer 2s. That might not happen for a very long time, if at all. I get it. Some dApps are going to still be on the network. But I think layer 2s are going to take more preference because layer 2s now have just that Ethereum as a settlement layer, just like Quant uses Ethereum for it, right? So you'll have projects like Quant still on it because Quant doesn't interact with that really, apart from just throwing a whole bunch of transactions on there saying, hey, it's all finalized. You know what I mean? And that's that assurance for the people using the Quant network. Like, hey, we can see a transaction on here. So layer 2s are going to have more importance than ever. They're pretty much their own layer 1 networks, okay? They're pretty much like a parachain on Polkadot. They can be considered layer 1s. It's just that they're layer 2s by means that they're pretty intimate with Ethereum. So I'm highly, and that's why I think Matic is going to blow minds, because Matic is just like, Matic's the equivalent of like McDonald's versus like, I was going to use an Australian reference over here, like Red Rooster, right? So like a smaller like national chain opposed to like a global worldwide phenomenon. What do you think about IOTA and Shimmer? Yeah, I think Shimmer is obviously a pretty necessary upgrade, if I'm remembering correctly. I think is Shimmer decentralizing? Shimmer's either the layer 1 or it's either the upgrade to make it more decentralized. I totally forget. But when they do make the network, because right now with IOTA, it's like everything that passes through the network is like being validated by one thing. And so when that decentralizes that one thing, it becomes exponentially more decentralized. And, this is a part of crypto and part of like new technology. You can't just start completely decentralized. What a shit show. You have to start centralized, work out how it's working, test it, and then spread it out. Now, people are going to look at IOTA's chart here and go, oh, look at this thing, man. Like, well, that actually looks pretty ugly, to be honest with you. People are going to look at this and go, oh my God, it had a massive run. It's got lower. And this is what I used to think like too. And so it's gotten lower. And so it's going to like end up over here sometime like at $1 in the next bull run. But that's obviously not true, right? Some pretty big upgrades are happening. The only way this could come true, and this is the big problem with crypto, is obviously markets are just a herd mentality. So if everyone hates IOTA, it's not going to move, right? And the same thing goes with other projects as well. If everyone hates Hedera because of X reason, well, no one's going to buy Hedera, therefore the price won't move up unless there's a massive announcement. And then everyone's like, oh my God, it's good again, right? So I think Shimmer might be that upgrade. So let me just have a look here. So, and they've upgraded the website too. I think, hey, I like the other website, to be honest with you. No. By the way, everyone, oh God, it's not Google. Thank you for jumping on the live stream. We can talk more about HBAR, but please leave your HBAR questions below. They will be prioritized. Yeah, okay, so Shimmer's got to do with the layer 1 EVM compatibility, hey? Oh. Well, that's not really an update. Oh, maybe, am I getting that wrong? Oh, Shimmer's the private network. It's sort of coming. I mean, I haven't looked at IOTA for a long time now, for months. But yeah, am I getting that right? Is Shimmer? Okay, so obviously Shimmer isn't the upgrade to the decentralization. Let's have a look here. Oh, you can't see. Jesus Christ. Oh, thanks, Rich. Hey, you guys gotta scream at me when that happens. You gotta scream at me. I want you all next time I start talking about what's happening on the screen, and I haven't flicked my screen over, I want everyone in the chat to just start spamming like F or something like that, just so I can like it'll catch my eye. Thanks, Rich. Okay, where are ya? Shimmer network. Shimmer is the staging network for IOTA. All features are first implemented and tested in Shimmer before. Oh, okay, yeah. So it's the staging network. Okay. So when you say what do you feel about Shimmer? Shimmer's like the private network. It's the stepping stone. Yeah. Or no, not the private network. Rather the testnet. Okay, maybe you meant Shimmer EVM chain here. Yeah, I mean that's big. That's big, right? That's some big stuff. It's the next release too. That's some pretty big stuff. But I think the real big stuff here will be when they, because they're also looking to shard the network as well. Yeah, so I remember correctly. Tangle, that might be it. Yeah, Tangle is the layer 1. Okay. Anyway, I've kind of spent a bit of time on IOTA. I had someone in here saying, yeah, F. I had someone in here saying IOTA is dead. Chris, IOTA is not dead, brother. IOTA is not dead. It's just building, man. It's just building. It's not sexy right now. It's just not sexy, man. When it becomes sexy, everyone's gonna go, oh, I wish I bought more of it. I would, if I looked into the project and they had a chart like this and they were actually a shit project, I'd be like, yeah, don't buy it. And CoinMarketCap's bugging as well, guys. Anyway, let's move on. I still don't think CBDCs will work out. Not doing too well. Look at China. Yeah, that's true. But like they're coming. They're coming. They've moved. Like the UK's moved away basically from paper I'm pretty sure you get fined if you've got more than a certain amount of like physical bills in the UK, hey? 7, have you thought about the 1 billion token release HBAR at the end of August? Okay, so this is a good question. This is what I kind of touched on in a previous, like a video I did about a week ago, where the interesting thing, and again, I'm always learning here. Always learning. One thing I found very interesting, now this is something that you can't really talk about very often because what will happen is what I'm about to say will often be disregarded by everyone. They'll say, you're just trying to justify yourself. You're just trying to make it make sense. What I'm going to say is, it's funny how unlocks are typically priced into the market. You see, what we know is that those tokens are coming into circulation. That's a given. And so when we know that, of course, what does everyone think? Everyone goes, where are those tokens going? Like those tokens, if they're being pumped right into circulation, then yeah, the price is going to tank just because there's more tokens circulating around. But where are those tokens going? Like who are they being given to? And the chances are they're probably going to be given to, let's have a look at this, if we can find it. They're probably going to be given to like SAFT investors or the treasury or something or other that aren't going to dump them on the market. And so almost you'll find that the market like prices that in already before it's even actually come out yet. And so when that actually drops, it doesn't really have any effect unless they are sold. If they're sold on exchanges, the sell pressure, obviously it's going to change the price. Because all the price we look at here, people, by the way, BTW, all the price we're looking at on IOTA, and for example, let's just use HBAR because it's the premise of this video, is just a concoction of this. The word concoction isn't the word I'm looking for here. It's just all of these on average, and that's what this is. So when you have all this, like if let's say like a whole heap of investors that got their tokens on HBAR like sold on different exchanges, this would all drop, and therefore the average would drop, right? So that's how it kind of reflects. Also DEXs as well. I don't think anyone's using, because obviously HBAR is its own network. It also take an effect other things as well. But yeah, so that's kind of what this price reflects. So, if people sell on open exchanges, it'll affect it. If they do sells on OTC, over the counter, like, okay, we'll promise you give me X amount of USDT, I'll give you X amount of HBAR. We're not passing it through an exchange. OTC trades, that's different. That's not good. Oh, I've done it again. F in the chat there. Everyone's done it. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Hey, I love this. This is good. Okay. I've fished it now and it's too late. That's embarrassing. I would appreciate it. Yeah, so what was I even talking about? Yeah, so, okay, so, this is so funny. So over here, obviously, the price obviously has a reflection from all of this, okay? So if all of these change, if all of these drop down to 3 cents, somewhere at 5 cents, it's going to have an average of 4 cents. If that makes sense. Yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work. Let's go. You're all legends, by the way. I appreciate you all. This is great. Anyway, so what was I kind of saying there? Might answer some more questions because I kind of lost my train of thought on that, but hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Oh yeah, so like the whole thing with the OTC, that makes obvious sense. But so, we've got to look at where those tokens are going, and because crypto has the unique advantage of we can see a vesting schedule, we can see when tokens are going into circulation, we can see, it's unlike shares where you have like these massive dilution rounds as well that dilute every single investor. That's because, they're pretty much spawning new shares, whereas we know about all these shares beforehand. They're already generated, they're just being distributed. Does that make sense? Like, because, when you have these events with shares, and those funding rounds, it's like, hey, there's 1 billion shares, boom, like tomorrow, hey, we just did a funding round, all these investors, we just spawned an extra billion tokens, and it's like, oh shit, now we really are diluted. Whereas that's now with HBAR, we know there's 50 billion tokens ever. That's priced in. You know what I mean? Now, if HBAR turned around and was like, okay, we're going to put another 50 billion in, okay, that's a different story. It's hard to wrap your head around, and to be honest with you, I'm still trying to like contextualize it. I understand it in my brain, but it's hard for me to like articulate it. yeah, so it's a difficult one. But if you say that to people, you'll get like you're a shiller. You're trying to like justify yourself, so on and so forth. Okay, we've got about 5 more minutes here, people, and we're gonna buzz some questions through. If you have any quick questions, let them rip. Montana G says, I own XRP, XLM, HBAR, XTC, and Gala with no experience in a bull run. Is it possible for me to get 10 to 20x in 2025 despite higher possible multipliers? Nervous I let us sell at the wrong time. You've got to figure this out now. Figure it out now. But keep in mind something important. Whatever you work out now, there's like an unbelievable higher chance that you're going to have to, that those figures will change for better or for worse. So what I'm doing is I'm doing these price predictions now, figuring out those minimum and then ladder sell levels. A very simple thing that you might want to do is just simply go 25, 25, 25, 25, 25% across 4 ways. That's simple. Okay, because then it's just done and dusted, right? It's you're not really, because if you do what I do and you're like selling certain percentages, certain number of tokens, that gets stressful. So figure it out, like, you know, if you want to do 20, 20, 20, 20, or 25, 25, 25, 25, and then work it out now, but then be flexible. Recheck this in like the next 12 months and the next like 15 months when the bull run's starting, because you might have your minimum hit before than you think, right? And so I think with those projects, depending on when you bought in, how many tokens you hold, I think definitely a 10 to 20x is 100% guaranteed there. And again, I say that with following up, not financial advice. We got a super chat in here. Fanman, 20, is that pounds? Euros. Pounds or euros. Thank you so much, by the way. Wow, I really, really appreciate it. That's a lot of money. Jesus. Kyron, I know you try and protect newbies so they don't lose their shirts, but don't you and I need the newbies' money to make profit, as it's their money that we need to make profit from? So there are no friends in crypto. First of all, again, I want to reiterate, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that donation. It means a lot. Thank you for supporting the channel. And yes, you are 100% correct. Yes, you're right. You know, yeah, everyone's saying it in the chat. Yeah, it's PvP. It's everyone versus everyone. We're all competing against each other. But here's the way I think about it, right? We're all pretty well a small community here. Like, we have 172 people on the chat right now. We have, you know, my videos might be lucky to get 10 to 20,000 views. That's not that much, but I understand like one person can be a whale. So you're right though. Like, I definitely shouldn't be telling people that all this sort of stuff and how to like prepare, because people like you and I need exit liquidity, right? We know what's going to happen. We know how it plays out. We know what emotions go into it. We know how to counteract that, you know, but at the same time, you know, I gotta like, and I know you're just like having a laugh too, but like at the same time, I look back on the reason why I started the channel, and you know, it's to help people out. It's to help people out, because what I always think about me, I always think about like when I first started and what went through my head, and people aren't as fortunate as me to have the opportunity to do this, and they might, you know, losing that sort of money or having to hold till 2030 when we might not have a 2030 bull run. To me, like, I'd rather just speak the facts. You know what I'm saying? But that's a good question. Like, you're 100% correct. And to be honest with you, I mean, I'm going to be very brief here when I say this. It's a little bit. Actually, no, I'm not going to mention it. Don't worry. I was going to just go on a bit of a rant, but it's fine. I think. Okay, so hang on real quick. AKM, for those of you who have been around for like the last 15 minutes, AKM mentioned that. Oh, I wasn't gonna say who it was. Don't worry. Okay, AKM, thank you for telling me. And you also published the. Oh yes, I saw that video. So a YouTuber put out a video saying that Quant was bad. I know the exact video you're talking about here. It was that video where it was those two people together, wasn't it? They collaborated, and it was that particular person who you pointed out's turn to talk, and he said Quant was bad. Yeah, I remember I checked the comments on that video. I was like, the comments are going to be great on this one. And I like had a look, and it did not let me down. Did not let me down. For those of you who haven't seen the live stream for the last 15 minutes, you're going to be thinking, what the hell is he talking about? But yeah, anyway. So Glenn Anderson says, will the on-ramp restrictions soften the bull market? Yes, that is what I think they want. But that's actually something that, I'm glad you mentioned that. That actually isn't something I've had that thought process on just yet. 100%. Yeah, Glenn, that's a good thing you mentioned there, mate. It's not going to stop people because people are going to use VPNs and stuff. But those centralized exchanges that require KYC are going to be really restricted here. And this is why I think if they have some sort of framework put in place, and then those exchanges can open up and breathe and let in those US customers, because the US customers are some of the biggest in the world. I believe the bull run we're going to have a pump, obviously, but we might even have a bit of retracement because some projects are going to be like, shit, we're securities. Screw this project. We're closing down. And I think we'll definitely have a big pump. Actually, that's a very good point. I'm really glad you mentioned that. I'm definitely going to reference you in a future video, Glenn, by the way, because that's something I'm going to for sure I want to articulate to people. Because when that opens up, people are going to flood in, right? By the way, guys, thank you all for being here. We're not going to end just yet, but I just want to reiterate, thank you all for being here. And if you're still watching and you are enjoying it, having a bit of a laugh, having some fun, please hit the like button. I'd love that. Thank you. Montana, Kyron, keep being a top G. I'm not there yet. Giving to us, you will see a lot of gains. To many people will come in super late into this, and you can still make gains. Yeah, thanks, brother. I appreciate that a lot. Kai, I need to do more videos on Moonbeam and to buy at around 10 cents. Actually, that's a good point, Cedric. I've been looking through my Moonbeam content recently, and I had that thought. I was like to myself, I need to do this more. I've got like one video recently on Moonbeam, and yeah, so that's a good point. I need to do more content. Dwayne, 50% tax on taking profit too early. Dwayne, actually, funnily enough, I'm doing a video right after this live stream. It'll be up tonight, well, in our morning, because I know you're from Australia, on like a bit of tax talk. Because like there's some of the times I'll mention some things twice, 3 or 4, 5 times maybe. I'll touch more on it in a different video than others, but you know, this video is gonna be predominantly talking about tax, and it's so important that people hear about it, and that's why I come on, and that's why I keep preaching it. I'll put a new spin on it, and I'll add more context to things and do different stuff so people can understand it better. But tax is a big one. You're gonna get flogged, absolutely flogged, if you don't plan it properly, right? CE5 workshop. Is XTC about to launch something in Singapore? Is your friend DHN onto something? DHN, if he's found something, he's found something. I'll put full trust in Wade. That's his name, Wade. I'm going to have him on here as well, by the way. So he's going to be able to answer some really good questions like that, which I don't know the answer to. I haven't looked into it, and I'm not going to try to pretend I do either. So definitely, if he's found something, that's why I told you guys to follow DHN in crypto, because he looks into that sort of stuff. Big time. DC's in the chat. What's up? Is 20,000 HBAR enough? Depends on your goals, Ray. It's always got to do with you. Okay? Always you. So if 20,000 HBAR here, I remembered this time. 20,000 HBAR to you is like, that's a lot of money. If like $1,000 is a lot of money, then yeah, it should be fine, because I can see this going to minimum about 10, 11, 12x. So you'd have about 12K there, and that's nothing to scoff at. You make 12K out of $1,000, you are over the damn moon, right? And then remember, you can always reinvest that. It's not static. You haven't just made 12 grand. What you can do with that is so much more, okay? So yeah, I think that's enough money, man. That's enough. If you follow my compounding videos, you'll be able to see that, right? Fanman says, I think all new folks should lose money like we did in our first bull run and then learn how they screwed up and prepare for the next one. Dude, you're dropping some gems. You're dropping some gems because I'm the person that is that exact person you mentioned. I'm the one who, like, when I bought a nice fancy car when I was like 18, 19, you know, it cost me like $30-something thousand. And obviously, what did I learn from that? I was like, I'm driving around a car. I bought it outright. I had enough money in my account and I bought it outright. And I was like, if anything goes wrong with this, I'm screwed. I'm like hoping the insurance company gives me the benefit of the doubt here. And so, you know, like that's a pretty bad way to think. So I sold that car, only lost $1,000, and I bought a house. You know, well, at least used that to help me buy a house, at least. It definitely helped, right? So, we got a super chat in here. But yeah, finish the question. Where was I kind of going to that? The super chat kind of distracted me. Hypernova, I'll get to you in a sec, brother. Thank you. But yeah, so learning from your mistakes is the number one thing I think in life. If you learn from a mistake, you will never, ever make that mistake again. And if you do, you won't make it a third time. And if you do, then something's just wrong. Something's wrong with you. Right? I got countless examples of how I've done something in a bull run in life, and I've learned from that. I'll never do it again. Some very expensive mistakes, such as, you know, the mid six figures. Well, I mean 6 figures, like $150,000. I technically lost right in the last bull run. But yeah, so it's good for people to learn the hard way. I just want to be here, and then you know, that's the thing, fan man, is they're gonna have to learn the hard way still, even though I'm here like telling them like, do this. They're still gonna make those mistakes, and that was like me, and that's how they'll have to learn, you know. So Hypernova, thank you. Hey bro, thanks for the awesome content. No, thank you for the donation. I really appreciate that, mate. $20, 20 Australian dollars. Appreciate that a lot, my friend. My pleasure. As I say, public servant number one. I'm here to make you guys content. Now, I kind of stopped myself before from saying this, but I'm going to say it now that you brought this up. I am going to be doing some more paid promotions on the channel, just a heads up. And I'm not here to scream to you guys to give me some to let me off the hook, but you know, I'm just telling you guys right now that I'm doing some paid promotions here on the channel because I've been I have been running a negative business here for the last 2 years. So it's good to have some money come in. And I admit when I'm wrong. I should not have done, if you guys had seen the video where I did the video on the meme coin, looking back on that now, I wouldn't have done it. And they want to work with me again, and I turned it down because I understand, you know, this channel is here to, while I want to do some more sponsored content because it's how I keep the lights on and can do these videos. Otherwise, it's back to one a week, right? The only way I can kind of do that is by doing these paid promotions, right? So I just wanted to put that out there for all you OGs that are like, what's he doing? It's how I can keep the lights on, right? Anyway, I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't want to make that a big thing at all, but I just thought I better actually tell you guys. I'm sorry if I pissed some of you off with the last promotion there, the meme coin. I'm not going to do it again. I'll do integrations with meme coins, 1 or 2 minute integrations, but never a full video ever again. Unless I get paid like 100K or like 10K, and if I do, I'll do a giveaway. I'll do a giveaway of part of that. 100%. Anyway. Montana, your videos are top quality. Thank you, brother. I can see you put a lot into this. Your visuals and charts are incredible. What type of videos do you enjoy making the most? That's a good question. And what videos have surprised you in viewership? The videos that surprise me in viewership are the ones that I actually put the least amount of effort in. The ones I put the least amount of effort in do the best. The ones I put the most effort in do the worst. That's just literally what's happened so far. Like I'll put like 10 hours into a video, even like right now doing 2 a day. And the one that I like spend like an hour or 2 on, the one that's like an update video, like this is what's happened in the market, or like as in like, you know, Hedera's new partnership or Stellar's new partnership, or, you know, top 20 altcoins tier list, they'll fly. But the ones that put the time and effort in are like do horribly. The one I like making the most, the videos I like making the most have always been the deep dives. The ones I used to do 50 minutes, the real like 30 to 50 minute videos. I would break it down systematically, and I would talk about very important points that not many people would know, but that doesn't bring the bread. That doesn't get people in. And so I've got to like bring the best, like bring my knowledge in that sense into like 15-minute videos into what people want to watch. And that's what I'm trying to concoct. I'm not trying to lose that edge, but I'm just trying to bring that understanding and knowledge into more traditional, understood concepts. It's getting hot in here. Guys, we might close off here. It's been an hour and 10 minutes in a second. Nature for relaxation and meditation. Hello, Karen. You're a genuine YouTuber. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Can you please tell us when you will start taking profits in HBAR, QNT, XLM? So yeah, Nature, I've done a video on that. I've mentioned my exit strategy for HBAR. I'm doing one soon on QNT. The one I'll have out in a couple of days is on Polkadot. So I'm just going to do these exit strategy videos on each and every single project, just so you guys can have a full idea of when I'm selling, when I'm buying, what goes into my mind. And I know it might be a bit repetitive, like the same sort of layout for every single different video, but it's the best way to do it. It's, you know, if it works, it works. And obviously I'll change the numbers and stuff depending on the project, but as XXI says, hit the like button, guys. If you haven't already and you're here and you're enjoying the content, that'd be great. So Sad bin Anis says, I've got very little amount of money, little as in very little, spares coins, you can say, $10 to be exact. Do you have any suggestion for me? Thanks for your videos. First of all, good question. Second of all, so in your situation, I would, you know, if you have $10, $100, couple bucks, you got to understand that you're not looking at it through the lens of someone like me, right? You're looking at HBAR, for example. What you have to do is bring that down to a smaller time frame. Pardon me, and look at what's called like scalp trades, right? So you're looking to scalp. Now this can be very dangerous because if that's all you have and that's like literally like you can't lose that money, then that's that's a lot of risk right there. You're trading at this point. So what I would say is maybe swing trade. Swing trade, look at copying whale wallets if you can look up those videos. That's a very hard situation to be in because there's like you don't have any wiggle room. Like if $100 you can play around with $10, but $10 you can't really play around with $1. I would definitely say what I would do is look to scalp or swing trade. When I say swing trade, over about a week or two, find an event, get in. You could even possibly just make some money. Like if you have to be pretty well, like not get much sleep. But if you hear some news about HBAR, like have 10, 20 projects that you are intimate with every single day. Research. You're looking through their Twitter, you're looking through their blogs, everything. And you see a hint of good news, boom, buy in. And as long as the news, you got to rate the news. As soon as it's in, okay, you can't lose more than that. Yeah, I would say if you might play around with $5, for example, if you can turn that $10 into $100, which you can very easily do because it's not much you're talking about here. Well, to be honest with you, and it's still a 10x. Yeah, I would say just look at swing trading, bro. It's your best bet. Yeah, it's your best bet. Derek Satcher says, thank you for what you do. Appreciate that a lot. Thanks for the donation. Best information on YouTube. Man, that means a lot to me. That means a lot. That means more than what I can express to you. Because that's why I started. That's why I started, to bring the best quality information. So thank you. It's good to hear that it's working out. I love it. Okay, people. All right, guys, we're going to close up here. I've still got 4 videos to do tonight. It's 8:13 p.m. My girlfriend's going to kill me, so I better get going. And so if you see some videos coming out in the next couple days, and I've got like toothpicks holding my eyes open, and I'm like, this chart is good because it looks good, then you know why. Any closing thoughts, guys? Anything? Any like real quick questions? We'll couple more minutes here. We'll start off with Jadden. Jadden, HBAR or Quant if you have to pick one. Fuck, that question always gets me every time. I'm gonna say HBAR. Oh, I don't know. HBAR. HBAR. Just because the whole smart contract thing with Quant kind of scares me. If I'm, being quick. No worries. Is it Brookies? Thanks, mate. I will definitely keep up the hard work. As long as you guys keep showing up, I'll keep showing up. That's it. No worries, Marcus. Pleasure. Joe, thank you. As always, every Monday, guys, I'll make sure I be a bit more prompt with the times and the dates and stuff. But thanks for coming. Danny, thank you, brother. Awesome. I'll definitely get some rest after tonight. Tomorrow's my rest day. CE5, I bought 109k HBAR. Do you think it'll reach 100k? Well, how much is that? That's just under. That's about a. Let's just say 15x. So, yeah, I think it'll reach that. Yeah, for sure. Based on my predictions, absolutely. Rich, thanks for the greatest content. Thanks, mate. DC, have a good night. You too, mate. Camilla, how many coins should you sell at once? Sell based on narratives. Don't sell based on a whole... Don't base when you sell on the whole market. Look within a narrative. Look within a project itself. Look within targets. These are individual projects within a single market. They'll all move somewhat differently together in narratives, but they'll all move individually, so be prepared at different levels. That's why you should always have levels and even sell orders set and ready. Keep that in mind. Give us a thought on WorldCoin. Sad, I actually made a video on WorldCoin. My overall opinion was, I think what they're doing is fantastic. There's some vulnerabilities that could happen, which is very scary. It sounds dystopian. The concept, the idea is fantastic. Needs to be done. Has a lot of actual use cases within crypto. Now that you've said that, I want to touch on that more, but I better go. If you can assign someone with an ID number and allow everyone in the world to only sign up with one, like if HBAR went full decentralized, and you, for example, said, okay, everyone can become a node on HBAR, but you must sign up using your ID number, that solves cyber attacks. That solves a big attack vector for cryptocurrencies. Workshop, you're doing a great job, man. Thank you. And no problem, of course. Awesome live. Okay, guys. Great stream. Shahid. Go the Broncos. 100% go the Broncos. That's my number. That's my team as well. See you in Zulu time. Can't wait to see your videos. Thanks, brother. Dario. Rollbit. I was put on a Rollbit by Token Metrics by Ian. So we'll see. I'll look into it. What Ian says typically goes, right? Thanks, Brendan. Thanks, mate. Montana, as a woman, as much as we love you, stay in your girlfriend's good books. Yes. 100%. Happy wife, happy life. I'm not married, but that still goes in this case, right? Jay, what are your thoughts on BTC to triple top due to diminishing returns? Yeah, I think it's possible. Like, I think what's going to play out, what happened in the past will happen again. But I'm going to quote him on this. Glenn Anderson said the restrictions on and off ramps are going to possibly hinder the explosive potential, and I would agree with him. Anyway, guys, thanks so much. Go the Socceroos, indeed. All right, guys, you're all legends. Thanks for being there to FFF in the chat. Really appreciate that. I want you all to show up next time. Same time, the exact same time next Monday. Everything's the same. Well, technically, for a lot of you, it's Sunday. Some of you Monday morning, so on and so forth. All right, guys. Take good care of yourselves. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for supporting me, not just on the live streams, but on the videos, because when I wake up in the mornings and I see the videos have done well and the comments are great, I have a great day. it's probably bad to think like that, but that's the truth of the matter. So thank you all. Appreciate every single one of you. And we got 30K coming up, guys. I'm going to do a giveaway. Small giveaway, about 100 USDT, but it's still a giveaway. Stay tuned for the details. All right. Take good care. Talk to you soon. Peace.